Hey guys, this is Perry with Awoi Gaming, and today we'll be looking at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, made by Ubisoft. This is their second attempt at making Assassin's Creed an open world RPG, following on the footsteps of Assassin's Creed Origins, which came out in 2017. And you can tell that they did some really good upgrades because Assassin's Creed Origins was based in Egypt, so it felt like it was open, but some players complained that it was open but empty. And with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it feels more impact and you're able to do more stuff. And they did such a great job. Not to bash on Assassin's Creed Origins because that was an entirely different game and was really good to play. Bayek is probably one of my favorite characters in the whole Assassin's Creed game, but for this, it felt different because at the start of the game, you're able to pick between two different characters, one named Alexios and one named Cassandra. Now, me personally, I went with Cassandra because just the way she was built and the way she looked made it more appealing for me to play as her, and compared to Alexios's, who was like a Bruce Strength, like what a Spartan would look like, because this game is based in Greek time period. So, but it never really affected the story because they all have the same abilities. It's just about who you prefer to play, and I like how Ubisoft allowed players to do such things because that's what gamers like these days. We want to be able to pick which one to choose between two instead of just having one character. Even though some one characters are great, you're not going to replace Link in any Zelda game because that's what you know. And like seeing how Link doesn't talk, you feel like you are Link. But in this set, they do a great job of being able to pick between these two characters and tell a straightforward narrative that we don't see in most games nowadays. This game also has great combat. You're able to use the R1 or left one or to use your combat. So like it felt different because like if you're so used to the whole triangle or square buttons to be able to use your attacks, that's not going to happen in this game. But it did feel neat for me to hit R1 and just be able to continue. And like the melee is good to be versatile. You are going to be able to switch your weapons, and like the actual combat itself is in the weapons. So it's like your levels are good, but like you want to be able to hit harder based off what you equip your weapon with its attributes. So, for example, I would have like a dagger that had poison, and instantly, like you would be the daggers will have poison effects on them, which will affect the enemies you face. You also get to fight in some of the battles that Spartans and Athens had with each other, and there's no really bad way to go about that. It's that you're a merchant in this game, so you're able to work for either side, and no one really cares. It's like, oh, you want to do this? Then go for it. There's no real consequences whatsoever. So there are some key attributes that you had to take into account in that, though, because like if you were to be able to do a certain story mission, you would have to fight for this side to be able to advance the story. And that was cool to notice the more you played it. There are a ton of side quests in Odyssey, though, that would make the game extremely long. Like, you can beat the game in 60 hours, but to get a platinum, which I did, I wanted to beat the game with a platinum. It took me over about 100 hours to do so. That can be overwhelming if you're looking for a game to dive in and like be immersed in, but the more you do it, you're gonna enjoy it. But this game also has level scaling, which is probably the first time I've actually ever noticed in a game like where the game scales with you. Like it's just different because you all that hard earned work that you worked for towards in a video game where you can go back to a certain area and just knock out enemies right and left. You won't see that in this game. It actually scales up with you. So there's like some areas like where you don't feel comfortable going to because you're not at high level. But also, if you're mean and great in that aspect of wanting a challenge, it will be right up your alley to go to that area to level up faster. Me personally, I thought that the game was fun once I hit level 50. I can't really explain it, I guess because I had all the cool skill abilities, but like the more I played the game, it was more that, okay, I get that you're a higher level than me, but I have all these cool attributes that I can use against you that you don't have because you're just an NPC, AI that doesn't have that. But like, don't think that that's not a joke because like there's sometimes where you can walk into an area without knowing and get destroyed. But once you get a set, this is an Assassin's Creed game, so you can go in it stealthy and just be able to knock out an area where you don't want to be noticed in any circumstances. Because like there's been plenty of times where I did that myself, and it was like, oh crap, let me rethink this through. Let's be stealthy. Or at some points where I don't feel like be stealthy, let's just go in guns blazing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's rewarding either way to take out the area that you are enjoying to do. Me personally, I enjoy the atmosphere of being in Greek setting. Like, it was just cool to see all the landscapes and all be able to sail the seas and to go to Athens, and like that kind of lore is amazing. Or even just to jump down like normal Assassin's Creed, like that element wasn't away whatsoever while I was playing this game. It was an RPG experience where you get to see what Ubisoft is capable to do when they do things that makes you want to play more open world games, and they don't stride away from that whatsoever. Now, side quests are cool in every video game, but to have the choice-based system in a video game is completely different. And the only title, other couple titles I've ever seen do that right, it was The Witcher and Dragon Age. And they do that in a great way of saying like, well, you can do this and like this outcome will happen. Some of the side quests in Assassin's Creed Odyssey are just kind of pointless because they're just like, you do this for this person, walk a couple steps, and then you get the actual answer for that. You get your reward, which is amazing. But some side quests can take forever. Like, if you were to do a contract, it tells you to go kill these many people and you'll get that. Okay, but where's the likelihood of anyone actually taking the time to do that? Or some of the missions might feel repetitive because it's like, walk this way and you get your money. Well, what about the lore that you guys put behind all this? It should be longer and it shouldn't feel repetitive. But seeing how the game has a lot of collectibles and being able to open stuff up with legendary weapons or even some of the mythical lore that is surrounding the game, seeing how it is in Greek mythology. So it was amazing to see that as well, to make up some of the lackluster side quests that you might see. But there are tons of content that Ubisoft put into this game over the time that I was playing. Like, I was doing a side mission that I thought was part of the main story, like for platinum purposes, and it was just something they added as the game went along. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't expect that whatsoever to happen. So it's cool that Ubisoft is able to add more content that wasn't part of the DLC plan, and people are able to enjoy it. And I'm glad that I picked up on that fast, that like, well, not oh, this is towards a platinum, but it's also more content that they're willing for players to come play their game more, and that's great. Now, I have not played any of the DLC, but from what I've heard at this time of this recording is that people are not happy with the way that episode 2 of the DLC is going, is that you didn't get to make a key choice, and I'm not for sure, so I will be able to get back to you guys as soon as I play that section of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But the overall game is something that I was proud that I was able to play at the time of key release dates. Red Dead Redemption 2, Super Smash Brothers, all this back in 2018. And like me personally, I wanted to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey to a platinum content. That way I can go play other games, because I just felt like there was a ton of open world games, but I was only being immersed into them for maybe 20 hours and then would move on to the next big thing. But I didn't want to do that. I felt like I was wasting my money for doing that. So I decided to play the game all the way through. And over time, like some of the key things of like having to build your ship, that was probably the most time consuming thing I've ever done in a game for a platinum. Just to have to level that up to a massive extent, it felt like it's forever. Now, I don't suggest anyone do this. It was just for me, but the store in Assassin's Creed Odyssey where you can buy like microtransactions, it's not something I would suggest. It's just for if you want to be a completionist. Even still, then, as the 20 bucks that I put into getting parts into the game, I still wasn't able to get the platinum that way, because I was like, after 20 bucks, I'm not putting any more money towards this. Let me get it myself. So even after doing that, it still took me a long time. So that's just a part on Ubisoft. They had to work with their people for doing that, because they know what they're doing in the aspect that people want to have a time saver, save some time to do that kind of stuff. But the prices that you're suggesting, nah, like I'm not paying another $25 towards you guys just to be able to get a platinum. So after that, you just move on about your business, be the gamer that you think that you are, and just go ahead and get it. Get it the way that you feel like you need to get it. So overall, though, it was great. It was a great experience. I would definitely recommend to anyone to play. But that's not how we rate games here at Awoi Gaming. We rate it on how it might be influential towards gamers, towards the community, and also if it really made a splash until last year or the years prior or even this year. If it still holds dear to what an RPG or whatever type of game it is that you want to play. And I would rate this as not a very influential game, but an influential game towards the aspect of being able to go see the Greek world in Assassin's Creed uniform. What I mean by that is that it's Assassin's Creed unified in Greek mythology, Greek world, to be able to present us with an open world game. That is something that I would never suggest that they be able to do. Of course, they're famous for being able to jump into certain worlds like Paris in the Ezio trilogy, or Italy, or Spain, or even the Caribbean in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's amazing what Ubisoft is able to do. Now, there was some backlash for the level grind, but once you're able to master the way that you want to do combat and how you want to go about grinding, I just suggest you guys just Spartan kick your way through the entire game. It was so fun to be able to do that, so I suggest everyone to go ahead and Spartan kick it and have fun. And this is an influential game for the way we're able to see what Ubisoft is able to do in an open world setting for its second time through. It's also a bit of a weightlifter for someone like me, or even yourself as a gamer, to only want to play one game and to immerse yourself in one game and to be able to do everything that you wanted to do in that game and felt like a weight was lifted. Because that's what I felt like as soon as I beat this game, was like a weight's been lifted in a good way. I enjoy this game. I would recommend it to anybody, and like it made me feel like a better gamer, and that's why it was influential. And seeing how you're a merchant and like you're killing everybody in the process, why don't you just go ahead and come after them instead? They won't play any niceness, and so why should you? Go for that number one spot and be the number one merchant. I did that and felt great. No one could take me on after that point. just go for that number 1 spot. The loot gets better the higher you faced it some of these merchants too. So, hey, you want to be the number 1? Go for it. There's no problem with that whatsoever. Making this game even more influential for me to suggest other people to play. The better you grind, the better you loot, the better time you have with the game. Now, if you like this, please leave your comments in the comment section below, or hit the like button, or hit subscribe to the channel, because there will be more content. You guys have a good day.